Well, Peter just left. Anita is all of a sudden jealous and acting weird. Like, she really thinks I want to have sex with that old paperclip man, Peter. She's a paperclip. You're the one that got me started talking that way. Paperclip's eggs. I swear to God, the combined weight of those two, I weigh more than both of them put together. I'm praying about it. See my candles? They really help me. Staring at the flame is so helpful. Okay, slow down. I'm making matzo ball soup, a bunch of it. And I'm taking it to Ezra Wheeler. He works at Ernestine and Hazel's now. He was running the Soul Museum and the Rock and Soul and the Stacks and something else. He was doing all this junk. But now, all that junk stopped because of pandemic-y stuff. I love that kid. And now he's a grown-up. But I met him at Tulane. I met him at New Orleans when he was going there. And he was from here. I never dreamed he'd come back here and be so happy and doing so well here. But he loves it. And I'm going to take some tomatoes to Ruthie McAfee. Do you know her? You know her little brother, Chris. I do too, kind of. But her little girl used to come over here a lot and play with Carrie, Larry's little girl, when Larry lived with me. So Ruthie McAfee's on the list for some tomatoes. And guess who just called me? Hootie. You know that chick named Hootie? And what else? I need to send her that picture of Ranky and Mitcock. And I saw Bob X yesterday at the grocery. He was going up to Nashville to work a Garth Brooks concert. Anyway, I love you. But see, Randy's upset with me. I did some real bad stuff. I got so mad, I think I did a donut in his yard. I took Sophie's scooter, the kind that you push yourself along on and ride. I think she had 2 of them, but I was so mad. I gave her $100 for her bat mitzvah, and that's a lot for me. And then they acted like I wasn't supposed to be there. I had the invitation, and he called the police. That was so odd. It was so odd that the rabbi called me that night at the mental hospital and was going, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yep, I'm staring at the old Temple Israel roof," because Methodist overlooked. I could see the orange dome at Temple on Montgomery that says, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor," etched into the concrete and stone because all the preppy, yuppie people didn't want Jews there. So they put that out to be ironic. And now they're acting like that this day and age. A bunch of Jews are making a new synagogue on Yates, and a lot of the neighbors are raising hell. It's the real Jewy Jews. They are annoying. I'm not any religion. I'm all about the crock, man. Those kids there crack me up. It's like I have 100 puppies. You know how kids are just attracted to you sometimes? Man, from age 5 to 14, they talk to me like I'm their aunt. It's fun. And I hang out around with Bear and Leroy Hodges, Teeny Hodges' brother. And Lisa Daddle calling me a racist. I wanted to strangle that little cow. She came in town, had me drive her around like she was a queen. Had a car with her, but had me a cruiser all over Memphis. One time she invited Spencer to lunch because he graduated from UT. And she said, "I'm inviting y'all and taking y'all to lunch." She came by and took us to lunch, literally. And when the bill came, she said, "Okay, y'all's part is $27.80. Charged us after offering to take us to lunch to celebrate him graduating. People ain't no damn good. They crazy as hell. But I did some real bad stuff to Randy, and he had to take me to court. And he had to. I mean, he's a very, very, what will people think type person. Like, he really is concerned about that and stuff. And I see it like this. Like, any publicity is good publicity. I don't give a fuck if I'm on the front page of the paper. For Most Wanted Fugitive, that kind of freaked out Jeff Marsh. He called me up and I was riding to Arkansas and I said, "I know, I didn't see it, but my social worker told me it was there." But I feel bad for like people like Peter that got completely accused of a crime that was nowhere, nothing at all. Anyway, it's just, you can't believe what you read. Can't believe what you see on the news about people, because it's really sometimes not true. My brother used the word poetic justice yesterday. Harry. He's not that dumb. And he looked at my garden and said lasagna, which means layered gardening. Use a bunch of layers to create a garden. So he's not so dumb after all. This man that raped a kid, no, I'm not going to say anything about raping kids. This man that raped a girl, or a woman rather, was walking down Park Avenue and a truck flew up off Park Avenue and slammed into him and killed him. Harry goes, "That's poetic justice." I was like, all right. Harry knows some English terminology. But Anita's been getting on my nerves so bad that I was able to respond to Harry, my brother's girlfriend, yesterday when she started up yapping. I said, "Hang on. I don't want to hear any female voices. Seriously. Shut it." And she goes, "You can't talk to me like that in my home." I said, "Oh my God. Right. This is your home. You've paid taxes, right? You've ever fixed or repaired anything?" Or I said, "Harry, come on. Let's get the hell out of here." And she's looking all shocked that I was talking to her like that. Usually I let her run all over me like Sherry does. I just wasn't taking it anymore yesterday. And we started talking normal after a minute and acting like we liked each other, but ugh. She already has built-in silicone boobs. Then she buys these gigantic padded bras. Has them all out in the front yard, like hanging up to dry or something. Harry goes, "Is this not tacky?" My brother's so grossed out. He's just pitiful. But he has his own bedroom. He doesn't sleep in the same room with her. And I finally told her, I said, "One of the reasons I'm upset with you is that it's no problem for me to babysit ever. But if I'm not babysitting, you never ever tell me where they are or how they're doing." And maybe I'm a little concerned. Those little kids I've been keeping off and on since they're forever. She goes, "Well, anyway, to hell with her. She's gross." If you saw her, you would be cracking up. She's so typical Frasier. Well, I shouldn't say that because my favorite boyfriend was from Frasier, Mr. Westside, 75. He was a social worker. I met him at the record store with Randy Shertoke. Was at the record bar at the Mall of Memphis. And then the years went by, and later I told Randy, "Hey, that tall guy came into Ernstine and Hazel's. He said he was riding the train to New Orleans. I want to talk to him again." And Randy was like, "Well, call him. Start bugging him." And I did. But you know what? You and me both, we're cheating fools. It doesn't matter how happy we are. We have to cheat because it's in our DNA. We're weird like that. And that's just the way it goes. And my older brother, the one that got married to the girl out of high school, he got married like 5 more times. He kept getting married. Women liked him even though he'd lost his mind. Because he was getting it back in little snippets. And like, he wasn't all there like he had been. But like, he got a typewriter. He loved typing. He started back typing. And he would like call my mother long distance and ask her for recipes to like make matzo ball soup. And he'd be living in a trailer. We'd be laughing like, that's the only trailer in Mississippi where matzo ball soup's being cooked. Harold was a different father than us. My mother married somebody else when she was 18 or 19. But he was a real good looking man that she grew up knowing. Like, he was older. He got her away from Mississippi. He had been in World War II. But guess what? He was older and beautiful, and his name was Harold, anyway, King or something. But my father adopted him immediately when he was 2. Because Harold King, my mother's first husband, was a drug addict in the 1940s. Like, she said he would go to jail sometimes, like, and then send a list. When she would visit him, he would give her a list of what to bring back to jail for him. He would ever go to the drugstore and pick up all this random stuff that had drugs in it. And she didn't know any better. And then when he wouldn't be in jail, when he'd be at home trying to maintain and keep a job, sometimes he'd go out for a walk with my older brother, Harold, and come back holding Harold in his arms and have a bottle of whiskey. And my mother would be like, "What? Where's the stroller?" He would go and pawn the stroller and buy a bottle of whiskey. That reminds me of when Rebel pawned his leg. I was giving him some shit saying like, "Man, I cannot pick you up. And I told you that. And carry this wheelchair. It will take me to the pawn shop. I'll get my leg back." Anyway, I know I talk too much, and I love you, and I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I miss Randy so bad, and I've begged and begged and begged for forgiveness, and that he just won't do it. He just won't do it. One time he wrote back, "It's just too soon, darling," or something like that, because Gwen was here staying with me, and he was in touch with her because she was in town. And then she finally told him, "I'm at Lisa's, and she's doing great and cooking me great meals, and her house is comfortable. She's driving me around. She really loves you, Randy." But he still wouldn't come visit her because she was here. And he used to knock on my door, and I would open the door and bust out crying. I'd be so happy to see him at like 2 in the morning. And he'd be like, stop crying. What do you need? Beer or chicken pot pie? Or what do you need? And then I might start making these weird noises I make when I'm really freaking out. He'd say, stop it. You're my third suicide of the night. He's like the social worker of the night, roaming around, checking in on the freaks. And then he would come here and cry some too. He'd cry about his weird job at the record club. And then all of a sudden that job went away. And then I told him, shit, you deserve some unemployment. She wouldn't let him. Rebecca would not let him have it. Made him go right out and get a job immediately. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm not gossiping. I just love you. We've known each other for our whole life. It's weird, isn't it? I remember sitting in your apartment when you lived at the corner, the Kimbrough. And Maury and I were on something. Not bad, not horrible drugs, but we were definitely goofed up. And we were throwing stuffed animals out the windows into the bushes and acting terrible. Like little bad kids. I loved him. Then he got all goofed up. And Don Spicer. Anyway, after I left your house today, guess where I went? To the motorcycle shop. I want a motorcycle. Because I behave really well and I don't buy pot. So I'm saving my money. But I decided no motorcycle. Even though I found one that doesn't have gears. Because I don't know how to change gears on a motorcycle. Just a car. So I'm thinking maybe I'll get a scooter again. I know you remember a long time ago when I was riding around Midtown on a scooter. A Suzuki, baby. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. I love you. I'm so grateful to have you in my life because you're like a relative and you know that. I mean, my God, I was in Arkansas riding around being a Christian sales lady. Told him I was Christian for that Christian company. And Spencer's dad got killed and that stupid redneck friend of mine called him and told him. And you did the right thing and you were right there for me. Goodbye. I love you. I'll make you some matzo ball soup. This is Ezra batch, but there'll be some left over, and I'll make a brand new batch for the men's grill July 27th.